The Secretaries of State and Defense testified before the House Armed Services Committee earlier today. They urged Congress to keep pressure on Syria over its chemical weapons. And joining us now is a member of that committee, Republican Congresswoman Jackie Walorski of Indiana. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. What was your impression after that hearing? You heard firsthand about the situation in Syria. I guess the approach seems to be changing a little now.
Well, I came here as a no and not supporting the president's plan because I've said time and time again that he needs to make the case to the American people on the viability that this is a national interest issue, the viability of what's happening with our allies and what is our plan. And I left Indiana about 24 hours ago. I've been in D.C. for about 24 hours, 7 hours actually. I've been in briefings. I have more questions right now than I did before I even got here 24 hours ago. And so I think the water continues to just get murkier as this situation continues to roll out. And so I'm hoping that we see the president make some clear statements tonight so the American people have a clear understanding of what is going on.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the speech tonight from the president. There are those that say maybe he'll use it as an opportunity for a little bit of a victory lap, saying that it was my strong stand against Syria and the threat of military action that has got us to the point where the country may be willing to have their chemical weapons taken over.
Let's not forget, the skeptics in this situation are the American people. By and large, there is no support in this country, as you just alluded to. And I think one of the eyes of skepticism that remains from me is look who the players are. Russia has been an ally to Syria. Russia is the one, according to Secretary John Kerry for the last 4 days, that has been keeping the UN resolutions off the table. So I think given their historical past, Russia, I think, we have got to stand by and ask even more questions now as to what is this deal, who's verifying this deal, and what's Russia's interest in this when they've been an ally to Syria.
Congresswoman, what should be the United States' response to a country that uses chemical weapons on its own people?
Well, I think the job of the commander-in-chief, let's not forget, to the American people, to the electorate, is to come out and make a clear and decisive message of how this affects our national interests. We have not been attacked. And, I've sat and listened to these briefings for 7 hours. I have more questions than I came here with because of conflicting messages that have come out of this administration. Some talk about regime change. Some talk about limited, narrow strikes. Some talk about barely scratching the surface. They told us all diplomacy efforts had failed. And here we are today talking about a diplomatic effort led by Vladimir Putin.
Very good. Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, hopefully you can get some rest soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right, and don't miss Fox Business.